Alright, so this is the trade I took today on NQ. Ended up catching 167 points, which is pretty impressive for this type of market lately. But so yeah, we opened up right around on this candle. This was the opening candle. We gassed all the way up to all-time highs, and I was wondering if we were gonna sweep all-time highs, and we happened to. We got a pretty solid sweep. And also, what I noticed that made me even more confident that we were sort of topping out was I drew the fib from the manipulation leg on the 5 minute, which was this move right here. From here all the way down to here, that was the manipulation leg we had. That took us to manipulate the London low. And so I looked at the -4, and the -4 aligned perfectly with the TP for longs, even though I didn't take the longs, but where I would have TP'd for longs, the -4 aligned right there, so I kind of knew that we were topping out around there. Started to look for shorts over there, jumped down to the 1 minute, right here. I saw we manipulated and swept the high, so I did the same thing. Again. I drew the fib. This was just for my TP, but trade wise, we had this 1 minute gap right here. I waited for us to close below, and then so yeah, we had this 1 minute gap right here, waited for us to close below, set my limit order at the retest of the gap, my stop loss at the high, and then for my TP, I noticed on the 5 minute, on the 5 minute, or at the -2, there's no draw on liquidity at the -2. There's PD arrays, but no draw on liquidity. So I noticed that the -4 aligned exactly with this low, so that's why I targeted this low. And then yeah, that eventually got hit. Yeah, to recap, this was a very clean trade. You could have taken the 1 minute or the 2 minute. 2 minute would have been nicer, but they're basically the same trade, but I took the 1 minute. And then yeah, you notice we had like about one or two it took like 5 minutes for us to finally start breaking down. But yeah, we got even a gap candle down here I didn't even notice. And then yeah, and then TP hit right here, and then as you can see, we started to reverse right after. And so yeah, so that was the trade today. Pretty proud of how I executed. I think the entire way down, I had pretty good risk management. I was making sure none of the PD arrays got disrespected. Like these gaps, this gap kind of got disrespected, but I kind of pushed it off. But there was no gaps really getting disrespected. Like this one got inverse, but then it closed the right after, because on the 5 minute there was a gap there, I believe. Yeah, these 5 minute gaps kept getting respected, so I just kept holding. And then midway through the trade, things started to get a little slow. I noticed that we actually inversed a 15-minute gap. So right here, this candle. Let me clear up some space. So this candle right here, this 15-minute candle right here, closed right below the 15-minute gap. We ended up retesting, so that was my confidence to keep holding to my TP. And yeah, so our TP ended up being the low a day. My TP was 923, and the low day was 920, so that's really good TP. And right after our TP got hit, I was just so happy because I noticed that we manipulated. And so I drew the fib. Oops. To go long, I used this fib once again. and it actually served as a pretty good TP. Like, it's a pretty safe TP if you use the -2 on the manipulation leg. I'm not sure if you could have considered this the manipulation leg as well, but yeah, the -2 right here served as a good TP again. But yeah, so yeah, just to recap, the the thing that I really want to take away from today was that the the -4 and the -2 standard deviations, which I just recently started using, they align today. It aligned with liquidity, so I wanted to go for the -4 instead of the -2, because at the -2 we don't really have much liquidity. We just have PD arrays but no liquidity, and those PD arrays were getting disrespected, so I held to the -4. And so yeah, that ended up being 167 points. I believe it was at 8-1 risk to reward. I took that on 8 M&Q, made about 2.4, 2.5K. So yeah, that was the trade today.